Have you ever thought about doing community service? Giving back to your community is actually easier than you thought. Find out how to get involved today on Carpe Diem. Hello and welcome to Carpe Diem. I'm Natalie De La Rosa. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. What better way to service others than to give back to the less fortunate? In Newark, New Jersey, a nonprofit organization by the name of Help to Feed is dedicated to providing food to those in need. Joining me here today to discuss more about the organization is the leader of the group, Nick Ayala. Thank you so much for being here, Nick.
You're welcome for having me.
So tell us a little bit about how you became involved in this organization.
About a year and 8 months ago, a friend of mine, childhood friend of mine, Gary Garrison, had contacted me and said that he wanted to give back to the community. He had experienced running into some folks that were down on their luck. I, along with my wife Fran, jumped in immediately, and from there we started to feed the homeless and the less fortunate in Newark by Penn Station. Some months went by and Gary could not do it anymore. Therefore, I had continued. And we have remained strong to this very day.
What made you want to continue with this organization?
Well, it's something that I had seen as a young man. My father and my mother were involved with the church, and my father gave a lot to help the poor. And when he was not working on the weekends, a lot of times he was going out to the prisons to hand out Bibles and to speak to young men who are now looking at a very long time in jail. And he also gave back to the community by helping. And it was something that was instilled in me and my sisters, and I wanted to continue to do it.
Now, how do you guys obtain your volunteers in the group?
You're asking how they came about?
Right.
Well, we didn't know each other. I didn't know Jason or Christina or Mary Beth. They sort of came in, they saw the post on Facebook, and they joined in. As time went on, we come to know each other like family. And for me, it's a great honor to be a part of this great team. And these folks that come in every Tuesday, rain or shine, and give of themselves, I'm honored to be a part of them. And therefore, as time went on, we became very close, and we are a family.
Now, can you give us a little bit of a rundown of how every Tuesday night goes about?
Well, for myself and my wife, we get up early in the morning, and preparing the food starts. And after work, my wife is warming up that food that she prepared. I'm picking up bread from Pector's Bakery in Harrison. I am picking up food from Nino's Pizzeria in Harrison. I'm bringing it back. My wife is now putting that in containers and putting it in the bag with cutlery and bread. I'm picking up food from one of our volunteers, Miss Libby McGinnis, who is in East Newark. I pick up her food, bring it back. I prepare the vehicle with the water, with the juices, with the snacks, with the food. And then we head to St. John's where we distribute the food. And it is the same with the volunteers that are coming. We have one young lady, Christina. She's in charge of all the snacks and the fruit. She is preparing all of that, bringing it to her vehicle, coming there. We have Jason and Stacy. They also prepare food. and they pick up food from the Spanish Pavilion in Harrison, which provide us with 40 meals. We have Mary Ferreira and we have Mary Beth Hoey. They all prepare food and they all come there. We have volunteers who have come and gone. They want to experience what it is to be out there, a part of it, and we appreciate all of them. We have a new with us, Gina Basso, who has come along with her 2 daughters and have been with us the last 4 weeks, and they have been great. They bring over 35 meals, they bring snacks, they bring water. So it is a day after work where it's hustle and bustle to get there, to do what we do for these folks.
Now, I know that most of the volunteers have a day job, so they work. So how do you guys balance working and still being able to volunteer?
I think that's what makes them so special. You have school teachers, you have IT people, you have small business owners. They push themselves. And I think it's an act of love that gets us, you know, when it's cold, really cold, it's easy to just stay home. But when you have this drive to know that there's folks out there suffering, you know, and not all of them are homeless. You have people that do hold down jobs and they have a place, but they struggle. And that to know that you're blessed to have a home, to have work, and that there's people struggling out there, I think that's what the driving force, to come out there and do what we can. It's not easy, but we managed to do it.
Speaking on the topic of weather, I know that you guys do this all year round. So how do you manage with snow, rain, and still being out there?
Well, yes, it's rain or shine, snow, heat, humidity. There was once, last year, there was a snowstorm. That was the only time we didn't make it. Right now, we're blessed with St. John's. They have a canopy there that keeps the food protected. It doesn't protect us from the cold, but we have ponchos, plastic ponchos. I hand them out to the volunteers, and we have the canopy, but again, you have the wind and you have the cold. But when we first started, we were in the open, and there was no protection from the elements.
Right.
And we were rained on and we were snowed on, but it was just something that we felt in our hearts that we had to continue to do, and we did. And now we're blessed with St. John's. They have allowed us the opportunity to feed there, where there's a canopy and there's tables. So we do the best that we can. We bundle up and we fight the good fight.
Right. Now, before being at St. John's, you guys were helping and feeding the homeless in Penn Station, correct?
Penn Station, across the street at the park, Liberty Park.
Right. So how did you guys make that transition into St. John's?
Well, there was an incident once where we have come to know the transit police and the Newark police officers, and they were very supportive towards us. And whenever we saw them, we said hello, and we would ask them if they wanted water or something, you know. And whenever we had problems, they would come to us right away. But there was a change where they had new police officers and a supervisor. So one day there was a clash, and they didn't want us to be there no more. And they asked us to leave, and we had 170 meals, and we asked them if we could just please get rid of it. So they gave us 10 minutes to disperse of all this food, which caused chaos. But we didn't want to be lawbreakers either. If they didn't want us there, we had to find a new place. And that's when we went to talk to Father Marquis in the church and the secretary, Margaret. And we explained to them what we were doing. And they were so kind that they allowed us the opportunity to go to St. John's and use their facilities.
Now, how do you tell the people that come and take the food, the homeless people, how do you let them know of this transition? How do they become aware?
Oh, they know. It's word of mouth. You know, when we get there, they're already lined up. They're waiting for us, you know. It started small when we were across the street from Penn Station. You know, there would be 20, 25, but that number kept growing, you know. They have their ways of communicating with each other and letting them know, listen, you can get a hot meal here, and so on. So, you know, when we get there, they're already in line. You know, by the time we set up and we're just about ready to serve, that line has increased. So it's word of mouth by them.
Now, just recently, this past Tuesday, there was a fight that broke out between the homeless people. How do you guys deal with these situations?
Well, I think that there was a situation where there was two individuals, and I would back up and say, in this year and 8 months, we have had 4 incidents, minor, where we would have to come over and I would say, listen, this is not permitted here, or you cannot speak that way here. If you continue, you will not eat here. This last Tuesday was different. It was very, these two individuals were out to make trouble, and they didn't care who they stepped on, who they hurt. And we had asked transit, because they were in that area, to please remove them. They were removed twice by the police, but they came back. And, you know, we asked them politely to leave, you know, and then it was firmly, you have to leave. You're on private property and you're trespassing now. The moment they robbed one of the people that we gave food was an indicator that there was going to be more problems. And then the second individual came to the back tables where some of the people were eating, and now was harassing and smacking food from them, where I had to come along with 2 of my guys, Travis and Anthony, and confront the guy and, you know, literally remove him from harassing and trying to take food. And then we called the police, and the Newark police came in, and we were grateful because they came in and they happened to catch them on the corner of 21 and Seton Hall Law School. So we were grateful for that. And we know that we have to be on our toes because anything is possible. I would like to say that most of the people that are on that line are extremely grateful. They really are. They come to our volunteers and thank you so much, and, you know, God bless you. And that's reward in itself. But at any given point, you can have someone there, and we have to lead by example.
Right.
We have to show kindness. We have to speak firm. We have to show law and order. But the main ingredient here is compassion, and we have to let them know that this is not going to be tolerated. You know, but for the most part, all these folks are so very grateful, and we're grateful to be there to help them out.
Now, how do you guys move forward? What's the next step after an incident like this? How do you guys keep the safety and protection for both your team and the people being fed?
Well, this evening we're going to have 2 police officers, a Kearney police officer and a Newark police officer. We don't want to show up with a great presence of men, because it's not always like that. But to have 2 on the side watching, that, let's just say that these 2 individuals show up, I will let them know that they're no longer, you know, going to be eating there.
Right.
If it escalates more than that, then I will have the cops call for backup and have them removed. But moving forward, I don't think agitating them or anyone. Although last week, many that were on the line were so agitated. I guess they know these people as, you know, trouble.
Right.
And they didn't appreciate their tone. They didn't appreciate their actions. They were angry. And I dare to say that a lot of them wanted to revolt against them. But we don't want that. We don't want that to happen. So I think that moving forward, to have a police presence there, and I think that if these 2 individuals get the message, you're no longer welcome there, I think
Right.
it's fine, you know. like I said, most of these folks are so grateful and thankful, and you can see it, you know.
Absolutely. Now, I had the privilege of being there one night to see how you run the program, and let me tell you, it was definitely a heartwarming experience. Let's take a look. The face of homelessness and hunger continues to impact communities all over the world, specifically in Essex County, New Jersey, where 24% of the homeless population stems from. According to NJ Counts, the homeless population in New Jersey is decreasing across the state, but the numbers in Essex County are still very high. An organization in Newark, New Jersey is helping bring hunger to a standstill every Tuesday night. Help to Feed is a group of volunteers who give their time, effort, and even money in providing food and clothing for the homeless.
We started this with a good friend of ours, and we always wanted to help people. We have so much that, we feel blessed, and we just want to give back to the community.
The group is always prepared to receive a large number of people weekly.
It varies. It also depends on, the type of weather we have, but on a normal day, about 60 and above.
Before recently becoming a nonprofit organization, the team relied on individual donations from friends and family.
A lot of it, it's word of mouth, friends of friends, people we work with, family members. They'll donate, clothes, gift cards, ShopRite gift cards, Walmart gift cards, water. Sometimes people just drop stuff off at our house.
The group does not only consist of volunteers, but also family. Fran and leader of the group, Nick Ayala, are happy to have their children also be a part of the organization.
It's very important. I grew up on a farm, so I always had food, but there was just enough. My husband and I, his parents always helped people, and we wanted to instill that in our children and show them, that you have to have compassion for people because you have so much. You always have to, give back to those in need.
The team's efforts do not end here. They look forward to expanding their weekly meetings to twice a week in order to provide more for their community.
We feel so blessed to come out here every Tuesday. Our volunteers, they're great people. They don't have to do this, but they want to do it. And, it's something that we feel, very passionate about. And, we really love it. We just look forward to Tuesdays,
To learn more about how you can help or donate, check out the organization's Facebook and Instagram page, @HelpToFeed. Now joining us to talk about his experience with the Help to Feed organization is student volunteer Julio Rolando Ortiz. Thank you, Julio, for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Now, how did you learn about this organization?
Well, I actually started off, I've always had a heart for helping people. I always thought about just how can I give back? I've always helped people, but I wasn't sure what I can do. So I visited a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, Nino's Pizzeria, and the owner's son, Sal, a good friend of mine, I knew him my whole life, got in a conversation and mentioned the Help to Feed and that they contribute food to them usually, and he just asked me, I could try to get you to be part of it. So, I was like, sure, just let me know, what happens. So he contacted Nick for me, and then, Nick wasn't sure if he can use another person because he already had everything set. But thankfully that he gave me a chance, and that was actually I believe that was actually a Monday, right before it was actually gonna happen.
Right.
So he said, all right, Julio, so, he's gonna give you a chance. So I said, okay, that's awesome, great. So the next day, I went and I met Nick, awesome guy. And then ever since then, I just loved it, helping people. I started off working on the line, and it was just, from there on, it just got better, and it was great.
Now, why did you choose to be involved? What made you want to be a part of this?
Well, I've always had a heart to help people, and forever, I was looking for something like this that I can do to just help people, but I wasn't sure what I could do. But thankfully, Sal, he came in clutch right there. He really hooked me up with this, Nick and this foundation and this it's truly an honor to be part of this organization, and it's amazing.
Now, being that you're a graduating high school senior, right? How do you feel this community service is going to benefit you in your future?
Well, I actually, it's going to benefit me a lot, having the experience, the confidence. I really plan on doing this like ahead of my future as well. I always planned it out as a kid. I've always wanted to do something like this, help people, community, even country, and God forbid, even the whole world. But I plan to take this far, forever.
Now, Nick, how do you feel towards having such young people that are willing to be committed to this type of organization?
I think it's amazing that we have 3 Harrison High School students along with us, and now we have 2 new that have joined us from a different high school. I think that today's youth, the last thing that's on their mind is going out and helping those that are less fortunate. So when I look at these young individuals, I'm encouraged that there are many who have a big heart. And I think it's a tremendous asset to our charity to have these young high school students going out and doing their part and leading by example to their fellow peers. I think it's wonderful. We're all grateful for that. We are.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned in the package, your children are also involved in this organization. How did you feel when they wanted to be a part of this?
No, I thought it was amazing. We have, children, and we have family members. I have my father, my sister, my sons. I think, again, everything stems from your childhood. It is the example that my father and my mother gave. And I think that you are a part of that environment when you're growing up, what it is that you learn, and to pass it along, and to know that my own siblings come out and are a part of this, and my own father.
Right.
I think it's a blessing. It's wonderful.
Right. Now, speaking on Julio's, how you found out about the program was through Nino's Pizzeria.
Yeah.
How do you guys obtain your sponsors, Nick?
Well, Nino's and Spanish Pavilion they saw the first Facebook account that was made. Ours is now Help to Feed the Hungry. Our website is helptofeed.com, and that's help the number 2 feed. Mm-hmm. They saw it and they wanted to come in. So that's how Hector's came in. That's how Spanish Pavilion came in. That's how Nino's Pizzeria, but also St. John's was watching what we were doing, and they are a very big food. They have a very big food pantry, and they've been doing it since 1940, if I'm not mistaken, where they, from Tuesdays to Friday, are doing breakfast and lunch. And then they opened their doors and said they wanted to sponsor us. And they give us food as well, which we in turn give to our volunteers and give to the restaurants. Also, my church, Bethel in Newark, they caught wind of a video on YouTube. And they also they run a food pantry. They feed over 150 families a week. And when they started to understand what we were doing, they also wanted to sponsor us. And they call us almost every week, and we pick up food from them. And that's how our volunteers are able to make food, along with the donations. We have people that not only support us on Facebook, but they donate ShopRite gift cards, Walmart gift cards. And now that we're a nonprofit group, they're able to write a check. So all these factors is what keeps the machine going.
Right. Now, Julio, what is your exact position in a part of the organization? So what do you do on a daily Tuesday?
So at first I started with the lines, telling people when to go get their foods and orders. So right now I'm helping out. I'm usually with Nick most of the time now. So I'm usually making sure people throw away the garbages, make sure people don't leave things, behind. sometimes I'll try and help people, like if, or even speak to them, like people that need like to be spoken to.
Right.
But yeah, sometimes if there's a guy like eating, they have like the shelters they usually eat. I go over and just say, you know, just make sure you just throw it, you know, out when you're done, but in a kind way, of course. But I usually do that, just check up on people.
Do you feel some sort of connection with the people that you help every Tuesday?
Yeah, I make friends there. You know, they're really, really good hearts those people have out there, and it's amazing. You know, those people out there, you just have wonderful hearts to see. You know, the people we're helping, they're grateful. You know. And so are we grateful to help them, giving the other hand to help them, and
Right.
just share the love.
Now, Nick, how do you guys plan on expanding this organization so that people are more aware of it?
Well, I think it's programs like yours that spread the word. I know for myself, for my team, you know, because it's everything that we do together. We will sit down and vote on things. I don't make the rules. We do. We're a team. Without the other, we don't make any decisions. We have spoke about in the future, I don't know when, but in the future, if possible, if we can extend another day, maybe a Thursday, because it's been so successful and the people really do depend on us. If we can get another date, would be fantastic. Are we ready right now to do that? No, not just this very moment, but it's something. And like I said, it's RLS Media came with their camera crew. They've recorded us as well. And word of mouth and the YouTube videos that we post ourselves, people see it.
Right.
And they want to contribute. So we are grateful for you guys taking the time to speak to us today. And Julio is a wonderful young man.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for being here, Nick and Julio. If you'd like more information about this or any other edition of Carpe Diem, you can write to us at the email address on your screen, carpediem@mail.montclair.edu, or call us at 973-655-5158. And remember, don't hesitate to get involved in your local community. For all of us here at Carpe Diem, I'm Natalie De La Rosa. Thanks for watching.